And that leads us to the second path to sustainable development, called smart growth. They put a line around the city and tell you no growth can take place out of that line. Urban sprawl, they say mistakenly. They refuse to build more roads as a way to get you out of your car and into public transportation, restricting mobility. New highways, they say, are feeders to more development. They even stop widening the existing roads for the same reasons. So roads become overcrowded and gridlocked, and they blame development. Their new ploy is to force cars to share the road with bicycles, the complete street, they call it. In many smart growth cities, new apartment buildings now have no garages or parking lots. We don't want any stinking cars here. Smart growth creates an unnatural restriction on space inside the controlled city limits, so there is a shortage of houses and prices go up. That means populations will have to be controlled because now there is a shortage of land. That's why kind and passionate environmentalist Dr. Jacques Cousteau declared, quote, "In order to stabilize world populations, we must eliminate 350,000 people per day." Sustainabilists call for an 85% reduction in human population. Now, I've made arrangements with Louis here. When you leave here, outside there are big containers of Kool-Aid. All of you need to do your patriotic duty and take a drink. And I guarantee you there will be no environmentalist in your way taking up the Kool-Aid. It's all for you. 85% reduction in population. How do we do that? Well, do we use the proven success of China's population control methods of forced abortions and sterilizations? The Chinese, I can tell you, are huge supporters of sustainable development, and I'm sure that they are anxious to share some ideas with us. Of course, the comprehensive development plans are the tool of choice in nearly every city in the nation to produce a proper smart growth community. Through these plans, energy and water use is tightly controlled. Smart growth advocates force individuals to live in denser communities and take up smaller tracts of land for housing unit. They actually prefer is that you all live in high-rise buildings with stores on the bottom, offices in the middle, people living on the top. You never touch the ground. The third way to sustainable development, inside the human habitat areas, our cities and our towns, government is steadily being controlled by an elite ruling class called stakeholder councils. These are mostly NGOs who, like thieves in the night, just show up to stake their claim to enforce their own private agendas. The function of legitimate elected government within the sustainable system is fast becoming little more than a rubber stamp to create and enforce the dictates of the councils. It's the demise of representative government. And the councils appear and grow almost overnight. You'll find watershed councils that regulate human action near every trickling stream, river, or lake. Meters are put on wells. Special action councils control home size, tree pruning or removal, even the color you can paint your home or the height of your grass. Historic preservation councils control development in downtown areas, disallowing expansion in new buildings. Sometimes they even disallow repairs on existing buildings unless specific, expensive, perhaps even non-existent materials are used. In rural areas, we find the establishment of fire safety councils that prevent those living in rural areas from removing vegetation and dead trees from wooded areas on their own land, because to do so wouldn't be natural and damages the ecology. So as a result, fires burn much, much hotter and damages much more land and many more trees than there would be, but well, the ecologists are best. So as a result, forests can't be cut, farmers pay taxes to draw from their own wells, commercial fishermen can't fish, and regulations cover all possible human activity. Once the councils are established, it becomes nearly impossible to discuss issues with your local elected representatives. Instead, they will automatically refer you to the proper council or for administration or department run by, in many cases, unresponsive appointed hacks armed with their own political agenda. They don't care what you have to say. These non-elected councils fit almost perfectly the definition of a state Soviet. A system of councils that report to an apex council and then implement a predetermined outcome. Soviets are the operating mechanism of a government-controlled economy, the exact opposite of a constitutional republic.